We have been riding for the whole day, occasionally taking a rest because of the horses. I couldn't count the number of times I had fallen asleep. By the time I woke up, probably the fourth or fifth time, the sun was already setting. "How are you feeling, Letitia?" Darium asked, glancing down at my tummy. I gave him a smile to let him know that I was okay. "I'm fine." "Are we there yet?" I asked, forcing my eyes open. "We are almost close to the border. We should be there in an hour's time," he answered, taking a hold of my hand. "You can rest some more. I will wake you up when we get there." I shake my head, turning down his request while stifling a yawn. "No, I feel like all I have been doing all day is sleep." He nodded, gazing into my eyes. "So what do you want to do for an hour?" "I have no idea. What do you suggest we do?" I asked, and he tilted his head like he was thinking. "How about you read me a poem?" "I'm not very good at that, Letitia. You don't really expect me to prepare a poem in an hour." "Why? I think it would be fun." I beamed, pouting my lips. "Please, please, I'm sure our baby also wants to listen to the words of his father." Darium's lips lifted upward. "You said he." He says it, making me realize what my words mean. I shrugged my shoulders, giggling. "Well, you think it's a boy." "I know it's a boy." He corrects me, causing me to laugh. "Come on, I'm still waiting for my poetry." "Fine, this is one of my favorites." He says this, looking deep into my eyes. "How do I love you? Let me count the ways. I love you to the depth, breadth, and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight. For the ends of being and ideal grace. I love you to the level of everyday's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely, as men strive for right. I love thee purely, as they turn from praise. I love you with the passion you put to use. In my old grief and with my childhood's faith. I love you with a love I seem to lose. With my lost saints. I love you with my breath. Smiles and tears of all my life, and, if God chooses, I shall but love thee better after death. When you was done, I couldn't wash the smile off my face and stared at him with feelings bare for him to see. He might not have been the one who wrote those words, but I can tell how much they meant to him when he said them. Of course, we didn't stick to reciting poetry and just talked more about the books we had read and random stuff. The night drew near with our arrival, Silvio, and we rode the bridge that led to the kingdom, stopping at a big metal gate with 2 guards standing there, one on each side. We waited while one of our guards walked up to them. They exchanged a bit of words before the guards at the gate bowed, pushing the gate up for us to pass through. Darium was the first to get down, helping me down as well when we got to the front of the palace. He took my hand, helping me down gently to my feet, and we both made our way to the entrance of the palace. "King Sviatoslavic, Queen Letitia. It is a pleasure to have you both here," King Andrei mutters, and beside him was a beautiful woman standing there, smiling at us. Her blonde hair was tied up to the back, and the crown on her head indicated who she was. Darium and the king both shook hands, and I sent out a smile to them both. "I'm sure you are both exhausted. Why don't we go in so that I can show you to your chambers?" The king says this, ushering us into the palace. Darium took a hold of my hand as we walked down the halls of the castle, and I scanned the palace, taking in its beautiful exterior. "This is where you will be staying," the king beamed, opening the door for us, and I was stunned at the unique design of rare stones on the wall. "I hope you like it. I made sure to reserve the best room in the palace for the both of you. You have no idea how glad I am that the both of you could join me in my celebration." He says he still has a smile on his face, making me smile as well. I knew how much the young king adored Darium and looked up to him as a mentor. You could tell from the manner in which he acts. "Is it okay if I have a little discussion with you, King Sviatoslavic? I wish to seek your guidance on some matters." Darium frowns at this, his eyes are focused on me, and I see the hesitation in them. He was probably worried about leaving me alone. I gave him a warm smile as I spoke. "I will be fine, you can go. I will be back as fast as I can," he responded, pecking my lips. I nodded, taking a step back, and watched him walk out of the room with the others, leaving me alone. I sighed, making my way into the room and closing the door behind me. Using the opportunity to explore the room, I walked around, taking in every detail of the room, when I heard a knock on the door. I opened it to see Kiva and Gala standing there. They both bowed at me before making their way into the room. "Would you like to have a bath before getting ready to sleep?" Kiva asked, and I nodded. Gala walks over to the bathing chamber, getting everything ready while Kiva helps me out of my clothes. I didn't stay long in the bath, since I was a bit tired. Once I was dressed in clean, comfortable nightwear, I dismissed Kiva and Gala, then walked over to the window, staring into the beauty of the kingdom while waiting for Darium to return. A knock again resounded around the room, and I knew it wasn't Darium since he had no reason to knock. I walked over to the door, pulling it open, hoping to see Kiva or Gala, but was left shocked when I saw the woman who had been beside King Andre standing there with a plate of fruit in one hand and a cup of milk in the other. She bows at me, a smile still on her face. "Sorry for the disturbance. I'm sure you are tired and probably wish to rest, but I couldn't stop myself. I thought you might be hungry or want company as the men talk." She rambles on, her face turning red in embarrassment. "It's okay," I answered. "Actually, I'm glad you came. Please do come in," I said, stepping aside for her to walk in. I saw the tension release in her shoulders when she saw that I didn't mind her presence, and she walked into the room, dropping the plate of fruit and the cup on the table. We both took our seats on the couch, and I picked up the fork and took a bite of sliced apple. "Where are my manners?" the woman whispered in a scolding tone, more to herself. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Queen Ophelia, King Andre's wife. "It is a pleasure to finally meet you, Queen Letitia," she gushes. "It's a pleasure to meet you too, Queen Ophelia. The king has spoken so highly of you after his return from Nisha's, almost as if he were smitten by you. Even Lord Zane seemed to have nothing but nice words to say about you." I frowned at her words. I wasn't sure if she was complimenting me. It was almost as if I could hear a hint of jealousy in her tone. She must have noticed the look on my face, because she stopped talking and closed her eyes. Her tongue came out to wet her lips in a nervous act. "I'm sorry if my words may sound spiteful. I didn't mean to voice it out that way," she clarifies. "I must admit that when the king first spoke about you, I exhibited a bit of jealousy and enmity towards you because I felt the man I was in love with another, and when I tried finding out more about you from Lord Zane, since he was a good friend of King Sviatoslavic, he had nothing but good things to say about you, which made me more curious to know more about you." She rambles off once again. "After knowing a bit about you and seeing you here, I could finally understand why the king sings your praise so much. Not only are you beautiful but smart as well, and—" I laughed, making her halt her words, and she stared at me, confused and scared at my reaction. "Are you always like this?" I asked, and her eyes widened when she understood what I meant. She turned her head away to hide the red stain on her face. "I'm afraid so, Queen Letitia. I gabble when I get nervous." She admitted it shyly. "I wish I could be smart and brave like you, but I'm not. I'm sure you are well aware of the situation in which the king and I got married. The fact that a mere maid like me could marry someone as mighty as the king makes me scared that I might end up being a disgrace to him." I saw a glimmer of tears in her eyes, making me take a hold of her hand. "I don't know what you could have possibly heard to make you think I am strong and smart. Believe me when I tell you, I was just like you when I first got married to the king and later crowned the queen." "I find that hard to believe, Queen Letitia." "It's the truth," I said to her. "You know the king and I got married not for the sake of love like you and King Andre, but for the sake of my kingdom. I had been so terrified when I found out I was getting married against my will and as a pawn for my sister. What I expected was my death when I left Hades, who won't. King Sviatoslavic worships the very ground you walk on. I have seen him in his time here. In Silvio after the war, when he came with an injured Lord Zane, so many women had tried to get the king to notice them, but he never did, and when he found out about Lord Zane's progress, he wasted no time getting into his horse and riding to Nisha's just to get to you. I guess we both have men who worship the very ground we walk on, because King Andre was also the same, so don't let any insecurities cloud your mind about how the king feels about you." Like you said, the both of you are not of the same class, and yet he chose to be with you despite other women from a noble family. He must have seen something in you that they don't have, which is all the more reason not to doubt yourself. Thanks, Queen Letitia. I'm glad to have you here in Silvio. Letitia. I said it to her, and she smiled. I think with this short time we have spent together, it's clear to see that we would make such good friends. I feel the same too. She beams. If I'm to call you by your name, I wish for you to do the same. I laughed, nodding my head. It's nice to meet you, Ophelia. The pleasure is all mine, Letitia. We both had a huge grin on our faces when the door opened and Darium walked in with King Andre beside him. It's best I leave you to rest, Ophelia says, picking up the plate and cup. I hope to spend tomorrow with you. I wish to show you around Silvio. I will be honored. Good night, Letitia. Good night, Ophelia, King Andre, I said, and they left the room. I stood up from my seat and made my way to Darium, hugging him as I breathed in his alluring scent and felt safe in his arms. It's been long since we had a bath together. I said this to Darium when we stepped into the bathtub. I get in first, with Darium following afterward, sitting behind me. My back rested against his hard chest, and he bent, kissing my back and shoulder. You look happy this morning. Yes, I am. I gushed. Ophelia promised to take me around Silvio and also to Zane's manor to see Alvar. I know it has been up to a month since we parted ways, but I still miss him. You and the Queen of Silvio seem to have gotten close, and it hasn't been up to a day since we arrived. I laughed. I agree with you. I had a good time talking to her last night. I could tell she has the kindest heart, a perfect fit for King Andre. I turned back, giving him a smile, before picking up the scrub to wash myself. His hand moved down to my hips, trailing up my body, causing me to halt my movement. The heat from his body sipped into mine. His fingers moved up my spine, sending tingles of a familiar sensation through me. He continued to trail up my body till he got to my neck, and his hand turned my head to the side. He leaned down, captured my lips in a light, brief kiss before pulling back, and I stared at him, confused, wondering why he was stopping. He smiled. I think we better end our bath section here. We are having breakfast with King Andre and Queen Ophelia. We don't want to keep them waiting now, do we? He got up with me hanging around his waist, before dropping me down to my feet and taking a robe to wrap around my body while I stared at him, astonished. He was joking, right? He can't seriously do this to me. He started it, getting me all hot and bothered, just for him to end it without finishing what he started. I felt frustration begin to build up in me and decided to take the initiative again and finish what he started. Dari. I took a step forward, but he was out of the bathing chamber before I could call out his name.